Have you ever wondered how exactly the Antichrist will rule over the whole world? His ambition is to seize control of the entire world. But how could a single individual achieve such unprecedented dominance? It's never happened before, although many have tried. So how exactly might this extraordinary feat be accomplished? The answer will absolutely shock you. Today on The Conspiracy Quest, we're discussing Project Bluebeam and how it might just be the link that Satan has with world dominance. The book of Revelation in the Bible describes what the last days will look like for those on earth. It speaks of a unified global government ruled by a single figure of power. This figure would possess absolute control over the world's economy and infrastructure, wielding influence by his fingertips alone. In our modern era of increasing interconnectedness and technological advancements in the fields of science, medicine, and computing power, it becomes easier to imagine the convergence of these forces. Consider the progress made in quantum computing and also the potential of connecting the human brain so as to interface with computers, enabling control through the power of thought alone. In this rapidly advancing world, where artificial intelligence lends its assistance, it's conceivable that within just a few short years, a singular individual could wield unprecedented dominion over the entire world. Thus, envision a future where the boundaries between humanity and technology blur, where the fusion of human intellect and technological prowess ushers in an era of unparalleled authority. As these advancements reach their peak, the power to control our fragile world could rest in the hands of a solitary mastermind. Indeed, the prophecy of the Antichrist's rise aligns with the limitless possibilities presented by progress. In this grand tapestry of fate and innovation, ancient prophecies and technological marvels collide, painting a portrait of a future where one person commands absolute power over our trembling world. According to the book of Job, in chapter 2, verse 2, we know that Satan, unlike God, cannot be present in multiple locations simultaneously. The passage recounts a dialogue where the Lord inquires about Satan's whereabouts, to which Satan responds, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." This insight provides us with a framework with which to grasp why the consolidation of technology becomes imperative for an individual who seeks absolute control, particularly when limited by the inability to be omnipresent like God. Nonetheless, he still manages to deceive the world. But how? We find a few clues that lead us in the direction Satan plans to use this power. In the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verses 13 through 14, it says, quote, "And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth, in full view of the people. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth." Also, in the book of Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 9 through 11, it says, "The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works. He will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders that serve the lie, and all of the ways that wickedness deceives those who are perishing. They perish because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved." Satan always copies God, but with his wicked, deceitful twist. Think of when Aaron threw his staff down and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh's sorcerers and magicians also did the same by their secret arts. Satan is unable to be God, obviously, so he creates counterfeits in substitution to the real thing. This has been documented since the beginning of time. In the midst of these complex circumstances, it becomes clear why a single person would seek assistance to orchestrate a massive deception that ensnares the entire world. In this context, technology takes on a crucial role, surpassing ancient forms of so-called magic and becoming a modern embodiment of sorcery. It wields a captivating influence over our collective reality, much like a magician at a party who relies on clever tricks and illusions. In other words, Satan's approach is more like a skilled illusionist rather than actually possessing the powers that Jesus has. After all, Jesus doesn't need to use smoke and mirrors to change the world over. Only the power of the living Word of God and the loving act on the cross are needed to bridge the gap between God and man. On the contrary, Satan will force the world's worship by any means available. Have you ever heard of Project Bluebeam? Speculation surrounding Project Bluebeam emerged in the 1990s, alleging that NASA, in collaboration with other powerful organizations, plan to implement a mind-controlled program using advanced technologies. The theory suggests that Project Bluebeam aims to deceive the global population through a staged alien invasion or a worldwide religious event, all orchestrated to establish a new world order. Could Project Bluebeam be a part of Satan's master plan in a global Book of Revelation style takeover? The Project Bluebeam theory is attributed to Canadian journalist Serge Monast. He first presented the theory in the 1990s. In the realm of individuals who appear to be on the brink of exposing government secrets or discovering new sources of free energy that could upend established industries, a consistent pattern emerges wherein they frequently vanish or meet very peculiar demises. This popular trend is exemplified by Serge Monast, whose untimely demise in 1996 further accentuated the extensive roster of suspicious deaths associated with government-related clandestine matters. The exact circumstances surrounding Monast's passing remain ambiguous, fueling speculation and giving rise to various theories regarding the nature of his death. According to some Christian believers, the ultimate goal of this alleged government operation is to create a new world religion that will unify humanity under a single controlled belief system. They claim that the staged religious events and supernatural phenomena will be used to manipulate the people's faith and reshape their worldview. It is widely known that the enemy has always employed various deceptions against the truth. However, the scriptures foretell of a great deception that will coincide with the rise of the Antichrist. Oddly enough, this sounds alarmingly like the secular theory of Project Bluebeam. Many experts in prophecy are seriously considering the possibility that a significant part of this deceptive scheme will involve the alien phenomenon. Reports of alien encounters and UFO disclosures have been steadily increasing worldwide. Discussions about extraterrestrial beings have been on the rise for decades, aligning with the emergence of the New World Order agenda. However, in recent times, the intensity of interest in extraterrestrial matters has surged exponentially. This trend appears to be reaching its peak as we witness the culmination of the Great Deception, an orchestrated effort to condition humanity into believing falsehoods, such as claiming that aliens were responsible for events that should have been attributed to the rapture, or that the origin of humankind can be attributed to the Antichrist and his fleet of alien subservience now on the world stage, ultimately erasing the truth behind creation. The New Testament repeatedly warns us, do not be deceived. As what the Bible describes as the last days approach, there will be a tremendous wave of satanic deception. In fact, we are currently experiencing the effects of this masterful trickery. Satan is well aware of the imminent rapture and understands the need to provide a godless explanation to the world. His aim is to not merely promote a godless worldview, but to motivate and manipulate the people of the earth into wholeheartedly embracing his new world order, an oppressive global regime over which he will temporarily hold dominion. One aspect should be mentioned is the use of advanced sound technology. It is speculated that certain sound frequencies or signals transmitted through various means, such as HARP, or High Frequency Active Oral Research Program, will be employed to induce altered states of consciousness, psychological effects, and even hallucinations in targeted individuals. There are only 736,000 people living in the entire state of Alaska, which is the largest in the country. 5 in every 1,000 go missing each year. That's over 60,000 in the past 20 years. Oddly enough, HARP is in the heart of Alaska. There are many official reports by residents of people that seem to be zombified and found wandering aimlessly in the middle of nowhere, and no obvious way of how they even got there. There are many such strange occurrences that get reported every month, which leads people wondering if these extremely high-intensity radio waves are actually affecting people's neural pathways or the electrical signals. No need for conspiracy when we have proof this technology actually exists, albeit at the hands of university scientists with infinitely less money than government black budget operations. Professor Mikhail Shapiro and Dr. Jerzy Zablowski at Caltech University show proof that ultrasound can deactivate parts of the brain. What's unique about this is combining existing technologies with the use of ultrasound to achieve this goal, dubbed sonogenetics, to selectively and non-invasively turn on groups of neurons in worms that can be a boon to science and medicine. Conspiracy, now fact. Just imagine what a dark budget can afford.
It was on the NASA website, and it was a document that actually is a PowerPoint presentation by Dennis Bushnell, the chief NASA scientist at the Langley Center. And it was presented in 2001, July of 2001, just a few months before 9/11.
So who wrote this NASA document, and was this intentional? Did they want the public to see this, do you think? Or?
Well, again, the Illuminati, the most wealthy, rich men on the face of the planet, always telegraph everything that they're going to do. So the fact that it was on the NASA website, it was certainly available to the public, but did they see it? Obviously not. Because had they looked at this document, you would know about it right now. And we don't. And that's the purpose of this discussion, is for people to know about this document. And then they talk about how the use of frequencies will be used in warfare. They talk about the use of low frequencies, microwave frequencies. And they mention in this NASA document the U.S. Army report. It's about a 20-page Army document that talks about the use of frequencies to target the enemy. We're the enemy. And they say 100% of the human population will be affected by these frequencies. This is the goal. This is the absolute goal. It's incarceration, it is enslavement, and it is depopulation. And it is massive mind control. The frequencies have multiple purposes. On this same page 93, they say exploit CNN syndrome. Now, CNN, of course, is the network, the news media network, propaganda machine, and was set up by the CIA. You can watch the movie called Psy-War on stopthecrime.net for all the background information on CNN.
Another element associated with Project Bluebeam is the role of mainstream media. Conspiracy theorists suggest that media will play a significant part in the disseminating and reinforcing the fabricated narratives, using their influence to shape public opinion and suppress dissenting voices.
In 1983, we had 50 companies, right? 90% of the media. 1983, 50 companies encapsulated the 90% of the media. Now it's been consolidated down to 6 companies. Those 6 companies are owned by just a couple families. Everything is controlled. They hand a script to the entire nation. And your local broadcaster is reading something that was planned to build your mental construct to control the way you think about everything.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Additionally, some proponents claim that there are hidden symbols and messages embedded in popular culture, movies, and music that serve as subliminal programming to prepare people's minds for the grand deception of Project Bluebeam. There exists a wealth of compelling evidence showcasing the overwhelming prevalence of programming aimed at conditioning the collective consciousness of our world. From subtle narratives to overt displays, the media landscape appears saturated with pro-satanic propaganda. To those discerning enough to draw a line connecting the ancient biblical text with the present state of affairs, this correlation becomes abundantly clear. As we witness the world's theater stage being meticulously arranged, the curtains are poised to be drawn back, unveiling what lies just beyond that thin veil. The intricate tapestry of events about to unfold finds its foundation in the timeless verses in the Bible, penned over 2 millennia ago and prophetically foretold by the biblical prophets. The remarkable cohesion between these ancient prophecies and the intricate workings of our contemporary world fuels the anticipation that something big is on the horizon. Yet, amidst this vast compendium of biblical literature, it is the book of Revelation that paints the most vivid and awe-inspiring picture. This climactic vision, recorded with extraordinary detail, serves as both a warning and a beacon of hope for those who seek to understand the unfolding of the divine plan. Christian believers worldwide increasingly echo the warnings found in numerous biblical texts regarding the signs of the end times. These signs align remarkably with the prophecies foretold within it. In Matthew 24, Jesus responds to his disciples' inquiry about his return by speaking of the birth pains that will precede his appearance on the world stage in the future. He speaks of nations rising against each other, famines, earthquakes, and unparalleled distress. In Revelation 12, verse 12, it says, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows his time is short." Satan, aware of what has been foretold, seeks to deceive the world, swapping truth for lies. He manipulates the media, using it as a conduit for his deceptive message. Employing advanced technology, he endeavors to wield godlike powers, misleading humanity and molding the events to fit his wicked scheme. In his pursuit to outmaneuver God's plan, he seeks to subdue the world with his final solution. The alignment of these biblical prophecies with the present circumstances serves as a solemn reminder for believers to remain vigilant and discerning. By staying rooted in teachings of the Scriptures, they can navigate these tumultuous times and guard against the deceptions that seek to derail their faith. Project Bluebeam is not merely a government black operation. It is one of the tools Satan will use in his arsenal of weapons against the mind and spirits of the world's population. The alien phenomenon is not just media lore or simply life coming to visit from another planet. It is a part of a wickedly diabolical scheme to trick the world away from the absolute truth of God's foretold plan. The father of lies is busy at work conjuring up his ancient plan to overthrow the throne of God. He has a long climb from the swamp to reach the stars. His subversive plans, drawn up in the depths of darkness, are manifesting in our time. Project Bluebeam is just one of those examples. And yet, we navigate these tumultuous times. Let us anchor ourselves in the teachings of Jesus, guarding our faith against the deceptions that seek to disrail us. For in the face of the darkness, the light of the Word shines brighter, guiding us toward the ultimate victory over the schemes of the enemy.